Ooh, okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? How about now? Can you hear me? Leg raises only.
Matthew 6:22. What does that mean to you? If thine eye be single, thy whole body will be full of light. Why is this your favorite passage? And what does it mean for you? And how can we start to step into that?
So the mandorla, this is what the mandorla is. So we see we so often are seeing life in contradictions, right? The future, the past, heaven, hell, technology, culture, and we see them as contradictions. And when in truth, that's two eyes, right? And there's judgment on either side, and there's a duality there. But the truth is in that third eye.
Interesting.
Where they overlap. And that's not a shade, so we go, oh, that's a shade of gray. No, it's not a shade of gray. What the verse is saying, what I get from it is that's where all the colors live. All the colors of the truth live. That passage, when I always tell myself, keep a high eye. Keep the high eye. It's third eye. It shows up in all the religions too. It shows up everywhere. It's a way of perceiving the truth, I think, which lives in the paradox. And paradox is a word that some people go, oh, don't get into paradox. That's too, I don't know, academic or whatever. No, paradox is where it's both are true. Two things can be true at the same time. It's today we could utilize it. It's like if I seek to understand you and where you're coming from first, I'm probably gonna, before I seek to be understood, we don't usually.
No swinging.
It has to do with listen. It has to do with how we see things. It's how we judge. It's very easy, especially today. I think we love to be judge and jury on others and ourselves. It's a very arrogant thing for us to do. And this passage, if I be single, and not a dual contradiction, and seeing the contradiction, things have gone, oh, this is true and that's true, and instead of or, right? That's where the truth lives, I believe. And it doesn't mean that you just straddle the fence and you're non-committal about anything.
Right.
That's not what it means. It doesn't mean you're just Mr. In Between. So that's true and that's true and it's all okay. No, you can then have judgment, but see both first. See the overlap of the truth and understand it from both sides, and then be understood. And you can then have judgment, but see it through that lens first. We just don't do it. We come in with one eye, or me, us versus them, me versus you, my idea versus yours, left versus right, Democrat versus Republican. Even, how far can you go? Can you go down to right versus wrong, good versus bad? I mean, we see them as contradictions, and they're not. We all know. We all got a little good in us, we all got a little bad in us. It's a choice we make where we then have judgment. So that passage has elevated my POV quite a bit, and it's one that I daily remind myself of. If I'm getting a low eye on somebody, if I'm condescending people, if I'm objectifying people, I'm like, whoa, high eye, buddy. Come on, open that third eye. It's not open. My kids can see it in my eyes when I'm talking to them. If I'm talking at them, or if I stop and really look at them, and maybe there's something, maybe it's a form of discipline. But then they can see, if I'm looking at them like, I love you, man. This is why I'm trying to teach you this. All of a sudden they go, my son said it. I see your third eye. 5.
Really?
6:22. I'm like, yeah. He's like, I heard you. I didn't hear you before when you were talking just at me. So it's a great reminder. Matthew 6:22. The whole body will be full of light. You will move lightly and with discernment. Doesn't take away discernment. It doesn't take away judgment. Just saying, see it through that lens first and understand that truth is where those overlap.
Yeah.
and then make your decision.
Wow.
Because they confuse the world as it is with the world as they think about it, and talk about it, and describe it. For on the one hand, there is the real world, and on the other, a whole system of symbols about that world which we have in our minds. These are very, very useful symbols. All civilization depends on them. But like all good things, they have their disadvantages. And the principal disadvantage of symbols is that we confuse them with reality, just as we confuse money with actual wealth. And our names about ourselves, our ideas of ourselves, our images of ourselves with ourselves. Now, of course, reality, from a philosopher's point of view, is a dangerous word. A philosopher will ask me, what do I mean by reality? Am I talking about the physical world of nature? Or am I talking about a spiritual world? Or what? And to that I have a very simple answer. When we talk about the material world, that is actually a philosophical concept. So in the same way, if I say that reality is spiritual, that's also a philosophical concept. And reality itself is not a concept. Reality is and we won't give it a name. Now, it's amazing what doesn't exist in the real world. For example, in the real world, there aren't any things, nor are there any events. That doesn't mean to say that the real world is a perfectly featureless blank. It means that it is a marvelous system of wiggles in which we descry things and events in the same way as we would project images on a Rorschach blot or pick out particular groups of stars in the sky and call them constellations as if they were separate groups of stars. Well, they're groups of stars in the mind's eye, in our system of concepts. They are not out there as constellations already grouped in the sky. So in the same way, the difference between myself and all the rest of the universe is nothing more than an idea. It is not a real difference. And meditation is the way in which we come to feel our basic inseparability from the whole universe. And what that requires is that we shut up. That is to say, that we become interiorly silent and cease from the interminable chatter that goes on inside our skulls. Because you see, most of us think compulsively all the time. That is to say, we talk to ourselves. I remember when I was a boy, we had a common saying, talking to yourself is the first sign of madness. Now, obviously, if I talk all the time, I don't hear what anyone else has to say. And so in exactly the same way, if I think all the time, that is to say, if I talk to myself all the time, I don't have anything to think about except thoughts. And therefore I'm living entirely in the world of symbols, and I'm never in relationship with reality. All right, now that's the first basic reason for meditation. But there is another sense, and this is going to be a little bit more difficult to understand, why we could say that meditation doesn't have a reason. or doesn't have a purpose. And in this respect, it's unlike almost all other things that we do, except perhaps making music.
Sorry about that.
Music and dancing. Because when we make music, we don't do it in order to reach a certain point, such as the end of the composition. If that were the purpose of music, to get to the end of the piece, then obviously the fastest players would be the best. And so likewise, when we are dancing, we are not aiming to arrive at a particular place on the floor, as we would be if we were taking a journey. When we dance, the journey itself is the point. When we play music, the playing itself is the point. And exactly the same thing is true in meditation. Meditation is the discovery that the point of life is always arrived at in the immediate moment. And therefore, if you meditate for an ulterior motive, that is to say, to improve your mind, to improve your character, to be more efficient in life, you've got your eye on the future and you are not meditating. Because the future is a concept. It doesn't exist. As the proverb says, tomorrow never comes. There is no such thing as tomorrow. There never will be, because time is always now. And that's one of the things we discover when we stop talking to ourselves and stop thinking. We find there is only a present, only an eternal now. So it's funny then, isn't it, that one meditates for no reason at all, except we could say for the enjoyment of it. And here I would interpose the essential principle that meditation is supposed to be fun. It's not something you do as a grim duty. The trouble with religion, as we know it, is that it is so mixed up with grim duties. You do it because it's good for you. It's a kind of self-punishment. Well, meditation, when correctly done, has nothing to do with all that. It's a kind of digging the present. It's a kind of grooving with the eternal now. And brings us into a state of peace where we can understand that the point of life, the place where it's at, is simply here and now.
That's it. Keep going. Let me see what happened here. Good afternoon. I'm coming. But I appreciate you for stopping by. If you came by, thank you. Appreciate you. And good afternoon. I am horrible, but let me see if I can read who's here. I see telling Stuart, Mulatto, Preservation, LLC. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming by. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you. You always make positive comments in my videos. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. It's very inspiring. Very, very inspiring. And if you're still here, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I'm almost done. I'm about to leave. I just wanted to come and make a quick video, hopefully to inspire somebody, and then I'll go on with my business. But I'm really, really thankful to be here today, and I'm thankful that I can breathe today, and I'm thankful for all the little things, just the little things, like a roof over my head, food to eat, just little things that I try not to forget to be thankful for. Let me do another set. Leg raises only. Right here. But as always, I'm thankful for the little things, the smallest thing, like being able to have a cell phone. Let me see, being able to even exercise like this. I'm thankful to be able to do that. There's some people that want to be able to exercise, but they can't. And there's some people that are just lazy. But I'm just thankful for the little things. Let's do another 10. I'm just doing leg raises today because that's what I want to do. Let's see if my friend over here can play something for you, because you're always welcome to come watch my channel, and all the videos I make are from the heart. The videos that I make are truly from the heart. And although it's copyright, because yes, I'm taking somebody else's work, but I appreciate that work. That's why I'm sharing it with you, because somebody else made something and I just thought I'd share it with you. But at the same time, I appreciate that person for making that video. Here we go. But I'm gonna just do my leg raises. As you can see, I'm just minding my own business.
Is that an important question?
Not bothering anybody.
Or would you say, who am I?
Who am I?
Not who you are, who am I?
Who am I?
And if I tell you who I am, what does it matter? It will be out of curiosity, isn't it? It's like reading a menu at the window. You have to go into the restaurant and eat food. But merely standing outside and reading the menu won't satisfy your hunger. So, to tell you who I am is really quite meaningless. First of all, I'm nobody. Right?
I am nobody.
It's very simple as that. I'm nobody. But what is important is who you are. What are you? When they ask who you are, in that question is implied, you are somebody very great, therefore I'm going to imitate you. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you brush your teeth, or whatever it is. I'm going to imitate you, which is part of our pattern. You understand? There is the hero, or the man who's enlightened, or the guru, say, I'm going to copy everything you do, which becomes so absurdly silly, you understand? Childish to imitate somebody. And are we not the result of a lot of imitations? The religions have said, they don't use the word imitate, but give yourself over, surrender yourself, follow me. I am this, I am that, worship, right? All this is what you are. In school you imitate. Please, acquiring knowledge is a form of imitation. And of course there's the fashion, short dress, long hair, short hair, beard, and everything. Imitate, imitate, imitate. And also we imitate inwardly. So we all know that. But to find out who you are, not who the speaker is far more important. And to find out who you are, you have to inquire. You are the story of mankind. Which is really a very, if you really see that, it gives you tremendous vitality, energy, beauty, love. Because it is no longer a small entity struggling in the corner of the earth. You're part of this whole humanity. It has a tremendous responsibility, vitality, beauty, love. But most of us won't see this. But whereas we are most of us concerned with ourselves, with our particular little problem, particular little sorrow and so on. And to step out of that narrow circle seems almost impossible. Because we are so conditioned, so programmed like the computers, that we cannot learn something new. The computer can, but we can't. See the tragedy of it. The machine that we have created, the computer, can learn much faster, much infinitely more than I can, than the brain can. And the brain, which has invented that has become ultra-intelligent machine. Yeah? Whereas us, our brain is sluggish, slow, dull, because we have conformed, we have obeyed, we have followed. There is the guru, there is the priest, there is the ritual. And when you do revolt, as the revolutionaries and the terrorists do, it is still very superficial, changing the pattern of politics, of so-called society.
One more set.
Society is merely the relationship between people. And we are talking of a revolution, not physical, but the psychological revolution in which there is no, at the depth, conformity. We put on trousers, because here in this country, and we put on in India's different clothes. That's not conformity. That's nothing childish. But inwardly, not a feeling of conformity. Conformity exists when there is comparison. For a mind to be totally free from comparison. That is, to learn, to observe your whole history which is embedded in you.
Thank you, that's it. I think that's all I have. Let me do one more set on the leg raises. And then one more set on the leg raises from the bottom of my heart to you. You still there? One more set just for you from the bottom of my heart. And then I'm gonna go on with my business. Ooh. Make it real good. One. Two. Three. 4. 6. 7. 8. 9. Ooh. 10. Just for you. Now, if you came by to support, I appreciate that very much. And let's see here. Telling Stuart Mulatto, Preservation. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate you so much. And everybody else that came by, thank you. I'll see you in the next video. In the next video.
Just go ahead and clap. You rolling? Rolling. All right. All right. That sound good?
Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. That's it. We're gonna go ahead and end it.